Just Beachy with Deb
and Wendy.
Growing up in the 70s in our Toronto Beach neighborhood was a time unlike any other. Bell-bottom pants, high handlebars and banana seats, water buffalo sandals, crazy adventures, and home with the streetlights. We have lots of stories to share.
So sit back and join Deb and I while we reminisce about the people and times that shaped our lives.
It's just Beachy with Deb and Wendy, just Beachy. Come have a listen, just Beachy. We're going to talk about the 70s. Just Beachy with Deb and I and the Beach Brigade.
The Beach Brigade, that's right. Can't leave them out. Well, hello everybody, this is Deb.
It's Wendy.
And this is episode 14 of Just Beachy with Deb and Wendy. That's really not the theme song.
Sounds familiar, or the tune, because I don't have the copyright for it, but plagiarism.
Oh, scandalous. Well, if you change it a little bit, and
I did, because I lost the tune in there a little.
Yeah, she's actually going for Bridge Across the River Kwai, but that's okay. I like that one better. It's a Wendy spin.
Trying to find some energy on this
post-election.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday when we record, and it's been a tough day. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're going to go back to the 70s where we had fun.
That's right.
We
didn't have to think about politics.
We couldn't even vote yet.
No, had no clue whatsoever.
That's right. Didn't even know I was gay.
You're what?
So
what?
Oh, you know.
Oh, I know.
You know. Goodness. But I've been hand holding a lot of people in the States today who are really couples I've married, people that are just kind of what's next, So by tomorrow, Kamala is wonderful. Her concession speech. I almost said acceptance speech. Her concession speech was amazing.
Such eloquence.
She really is. I mean,
always.
She really is very, very heroic for stepping in and, raising the vibe.
Yep.
So God bless her and all the people that voted for her.
Yep.
And, we'll see what comes.
And talking about raising the vibe, we have to thank Sherry for all the posting she did today on our Facebook group.
Thank you, Sherry.
Getting that 70 vibe going.
What a beach brigader you are.
I'm busy at work getting ready for our annual general meeting, so I don't have much time these days to kind of think about posting during the day because I'm actually working.
I know.
Go figure.
I've been a little busy too. I know. It's just crazy. Life gets in the way.
But man, did those photos though, especially of the TV trays?
Yes.
The metal trays.
Everybody had them. They were usually in a corner somewhere, and they get dragged out for TV tray, right?
Yeah. Well, Graham, I can remember she had like the stand, and she had the four, and they were the metal ones. Mm-hmm. And what did we have on those metal trays? We had metal TV dinners. Do you remember that? Like, that was such a treat, back then, to have a TV dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can still buy them, obviously, but I mean, back then, you had your Salisbury steak, you had your mashed potatoes, you had your corn, and in the top middle, you had like
raspberry crumble or something.
Yeah, or apple cobbler or something. Mm-hmm. And it was such a treat to eat those.
They're like,
and now I look at them. Yeah. Now you pick it up and you look at the sodium and went, no, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we didn't have them lots, but when we did, it was a treat. And it would be on a TV tray.
It would be. And we'd be watching TV too.
Probably the Brady Bunch. I don't know.
Most likely. Or the Partridge Family.
Yeah, those are great. But yeah, actually, I have a little lap one I bought off of Marketplace years ago. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But and it just sits over your lap. So sometimes it comes in handy. But it's more vintage and you just kind of put off to the side because it's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, I think I still have TV trays. There's one behind me, even as I speak. Well, only it's teak. It's not metal. It's made
Yes.
of wood.
It's not the 70s vintage.
Doesn't have the same radar-looking color.
No.
Like Graham had, it was kind of an off-white with a gold metal flower in the middle, painted. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think gold rimmed around going, and they were like scalloped edges or something. Like they were fancy.
They were fancy. They were very fancy. Let's eat on the fancy trays tonight.
Yes.
I don't know whatever happened to them. And she used to have stools. Remember the stools?
Yes, the stack.
Yeah, they were wrought iron, and they were very sleek. Like with a padded cushion on top.
Yeah.
And we used to watch Saturday morning cartoons, and we'd get our pillow and we'd put it sideways, and we'd sit on those like it was a saddle, and that would be our horse.
That's true.
That's when you were like in the crib, under the crib. So,
but they also came out when we had family dinners at Graham and Grampy's too. They were part of the table, right? Like all sit around the table
because they were small enough. They didn't take up a lot of space, and neither did we because we were little.
Just looking at the wooden furniture that in those photos too that Sherry put on the page, and it's just like just takes you right back to our living room and in the bookcase Mom had in the living room that was kind of garish, right?
Well, our neighbors,
but it was in style then.
Yeah. Oh, Alan Frank. They went in for the big, heavy, looking wooden hexagonal things, and almost Spanish influenced in some ways. And I stubbed my toe more times when I was over there visiting them. It was just like, where's the end to this thing? It was big and heavy and masculine.
Yeah.
But, and Graham had a couple that she had in the basement, I think. But that was the style. That was it.
Yeah, everything was either like the shag carpeting, as we've talked about before. Like ours was orange and
kind of had a brown and white.
Yeah, brown. Yeah, but it was like shag. Not only in the den, but that's where also the very mismatched wallpaper was, and the plaid furniture. Maybe a plain chair or two, but yeah, that's where us, the kids, spent most of our time. Our mom spent most of the time in the front little living room, looking out the window, and that was a cozy little room. It had the fake fireplace
and talking to our grandmother.
Yeah, on the phone. Yeah, I think, podcast 14, that's crazy. So I really should go back and listen to what we talked about. But I think I talked about, and for those that haven't heard the story, like being homesick and laying on the couch watching TV, and our mom talking to our grandmother, like from 9 to 11, I swear, probably smoking a pack of cigarettes in that time, taking a break to go to the bathroom, make more coffee, eat us lunch. Then I think like from 1 to 3, they were back on the phone. And I have no idea what they talked about that whole time.
God knows.
But they did.
Kept each other company, yeah.
Maybe she'd break off around 3 to watch The Edge of Night.
Yeah, they watched their stories.
Which was only like 15 minutes back then. Like it was a short.
And Graham liked her game shows. Maybe not back then, but...
No, later on. But yeah, no, I don't know. They talked a lot. And that's even when Dad was alive. I mean, it wasn't...
Yeah, no, I think they just passed the time of the day.
Maybe.
And we'd come home for lunch.
Mom left that for us. And we were talking earlier, too, about... because it was only a 3-bedroom home. And upstairs, nothing in the basement or that. And so our brother shared the back bedroom. And you and I had the middle bedroom, and Mom and Dad had the front bedroom, which was the large one, obviously. But you and I shared a double bed for many years. And I don't think you really appreciated that. I mean, it wasn't even a queen. It was just a double, right? And
it was a double.
It was a double. And Deb would draw an imaginary line down the middle of the bed. And for any sibling out there that had to do this, I'm sure the younger sibling was tortured as well as me.
I never tortured you. But you wanted to stick your toe on my leg. You had to touch me. Every night we went to sleep, she'd have to sort of, are you there? Give me like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sleeping on my side.
But my side of the bed was also the closet side that just had a curtain, and that closet was the way to the attic.
Oh my God.
And it was just spooky.
It was spooky.
It was spooky. And my mom had this doll from the 30s, a China doll.
Which was really ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
And her eyes would open and close. But if you turned her over, she'd go, Mama, Mama. And every once in a while, she would just go off in the closet and scare the life out of me. And then one night, I was convinced there was someone in there breathing.
Yes.
Deb had an alarm clock, or a digital clock, that the numbers just rotated. They didn't click down right. And so I'm lying in bed one night, and it's just like I could hear like this whir, and it just sounded like someone breathing. And I wake Deb, and she's like, "For Pete's sake, that's the clock. It's just advancing numbers." But I was convinced there was someone in that closet breathing.
I know.
Oh, man.
We had
then you had the marionettes in there too, and some of them were scary. Like, why wasn't there a door on that closet? Why was it just a curtain?
I don't know. But we used to go in there and hide too, or we jump up on it was like a linen cupboard.
Yeah.
So there was like a shelf, and then littler shelves behind it that went up. So there was enough space to sit. And so I would go in there with my typewriter and write things, do my journal. But it was, where's Deb? Well, she's in the closet, but I've come out of the closet since. So, I spent a lot of time in that closet. But yeah, it was a strange thing. We could see from our vantage, because we slept with the door open. And one of our brothers used to sleepwalk.
That's right.
I'll never forget the time we could hear this noise, and we looked and we saw him skipping by the door
down the hallway, and he was so loose. Like I swear, his knees were hitting his chin.
I can still see him. Yeah. You're right. And he headed downstairs, and he was going out the door.
Yeah, he actually went out the front door. He did. And we went and woke up our mom and said, "Mom, he's just gone outside." Oh man!
I guess the door wasn't locked, because I don't think we ever locked the door in those days. But that, the things we saw go by our door.
Oh man!
Yeah,
it's so funny to think about that way. Like, it was a family of 6 at one point with only one bathroom.
We've talked about that. And
that's unheard of now, right?
Yeah. Wendy with the hairdryer. Yeah.
Well, sometimes I dry my hair in our bedroom. I was nice.
You needed the mirror. Sometimes. Well, yeah, it depends on what time of the morning. But I remember we should share the story. There was a window at the end of the hallway that looked out to the roof next door. And at one point, Wendy and I shared the front room in twin beds, because I was getting older and we were getting older. Mom figured we needed our own space. And so we had this great big room compared to the little room, and Mom took over that room. And I forget how it happened. I think we were getting ready for bed or something. Yeah, we could hear voices.
Yeah, and we could hear voices, and it's like, where is it coming from? And then we turn off the light so we can look out the front window.
The front window, yeah. It's like a bay window.
Anything. And then we go to leave our bedroom door, and it's right at the top of the stairs. So you come up this very small staircase, and our bedroom would have been at the top, and there was a window right at the top of those stairs. Mm-hmm. And there were like 3 or 4 guys.
Like silhouettes. Like there are figures on top of the roof next door.
Yeah, looking in that window, talking.
So we turned off the hall light, and we went to get Mom. We're all kind of standing in our bedroom, kind of peeking out and looking, and figured out who it was. Was it only the one time, or did they come back?
Maybe they came back, but they crawled out onto the roof from their back windows upstairs. Mm-hmm. And they were roof hopping.
They were neighbor kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they weren't, but we didn't know who they were
at that time,
time.
no, we didn't. Peeping Toms. And so that really I have this memory of Mom going out and yelling at them, "Who the hell are you?" or something.
And
And
I
then
think when she knew who they were, then she went down to the house and told their
yes,
mother.
talked to the mom, who was absolutely embarrassed.
Yeah.
And she had a handful of men. They're all boys. She had her hands full.
Then for a long time after that, I was afraid to go up the stairs
Oh
because there was no
yeah.
curtain. Who needed a curtain up on that window, right? I mean,
Easily solved. Mom, get a curtain.
Man, oh man.
It never even occurred to anybody to put a curtain on that window after that.
No.
It would have made us feel so much safer. But yeah. Oh, that was.
When you looked out that window, because it was up on the wall, you're just looking at the sky normally, not at people standing on a roof looking into your window
and pointing, and kind of peeping tomming, because we never closed any doors. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's crazy. But can you remember in that bedroom? Because our mom, she was an avid knitter and crocheter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if maybe she had a bit of color blindness. I'm not sure. Or she just used the scraps that she had left over from stuff. But she made you and I each a twin crocheted bedspread.
Yeah.
And I can remember, and
I totally blanked on that. I can't even remember it.
I know I have a picture of it somewhere. And yeah, so it's the normal, you do the granny squares, but it was like a lime green,
I do remember. Okay. Oh, yeah.
And a purple, like not really melding colors.
But they didn't match.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And then yellow was what she connected it all with.
I remember now. It's coming back. It's coming back. Yeah.
And it wasn't the softest material. I think it was like a nylon wool, or whatever. Mm-hmm. She was really good at what she did. She just didn't pick the nicest colors.
No, I think you're right, though. She probably we've told everybody about the copious quantities of Christmas slipper she'd knit. Mm-hmm. I think that was probably the same material, the same wool.
I think so. That nylon.
It was done with love.
It was,
and it kept us warm.
And ponchos. She made us ponchos.
She did.
She did a good job on the ponchos. I love my poncho.
You still have it?
No, I loved it, but I don't have it anymore. But if it got wet, man, those things were not very pleasant to wear.
No, not very good. Yeah, there was a style. Everybody had a poncho.
Can you remember about the house? Because everyone's house looked the same. There were a few of my friends that had beautiful houses. Mm-hmm. And we had neighbors down the street that we were allowed to play on their back porch, inside their back porch, and in the basement. But never invited into the living room.
That was the company room, yeah.
But if you did, you made it.
Ooh. Go see my mom. She's in the living room. We can go in. We can go there. Yeah. I hung out with some friends from school who had very nice homes down along into the beach area, just
and not that we felt any less at home.
I was just gonna say that, right? Our house was our house.
Yeah.
And it was what it was. But we had everything we needed. We had enough chairs to sit on. We had a big table in the kitchen, and a lot of people would come and visit, and they'd stay there in the kitchen and talk to Mom.
Yeah.
Have your coffee's right there. Everything's at your hand.
Later on, instead of Mom talking to Graham all morning, you'd have the neighbors coming in and sitting and having coffee all morning and talking to Mom and smoking a pack of cigarettes while they talked.
People used to think that I smoked because I always smelled like smoke, and you're not aware of it when you're soaking in it. And I remember because of the maritime family, nobody ever told me that you could take tea bags out of the teapot. So Mom would put on a pot of tea, and then she'd just keep adding water and tea bags.
So true.
It would stain our teeth.
And if you could picture the Pyrex clear glass teapot, there was a little coil thing you'd put on top of the burner so it didn't burn the pot. And before dinner, they'd make the pot of tea, and it would sit there for 30 minutes to an hour before they poured. But we had tea every night after dinner.
Yeah.
And it stewed a long time.
Deb, make some more tea, okay?
And we didn't know any different. This is just how you make tea. This is the strength you drink it at.
And you would put 2 tea bags in, and so by 9 o'clock at night, you might have like 8 or 9, 6 or 8 tea bags, because you just keep adding to it, and you keep it on like 7, the lowest setting. You keep it stewing.
It's true.
How do we not know? It's so funny.
I think that's just the way they drink their tea down east, and tradition continues.
That's what it was.
But now, and then I can remember when I first started going out with my husband, Bruce, and he came over, I think it was at Graham's, and he was appalled. Because that's not how they drink their tea.
No.
And the rule is, you warm up the teapot, you throw in your 2 tea bags and your water, you time it for 5 minutes, and out comes the tea bags. It's like, what?
That's not right.
What are you talking about?
You don't know how to make tea. The spoon has to stand up in it after a while. Exactly. It's got to have that distinctive flavor.
That's so true. Oh, and then tonight for dinner, because I can't believe how long Kraft dinner has been around. I mean, I'm sure long before I was old enough to make it, but tonight I tried the KFC KD. I finally found a box. It was a big promotion, if people remember, a couple months ago, and I found a box at Walmart the other day. I went,
so fried chicken flavored Kraft dinner. Yeah,
kind of. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It was interesting. I won't buy it again, and it is a limited edition, so maybe it'll be gone the next time I go. But it was okay. Very salty, though. But I can remember, though, like being 10 and 11 and making a box, and if anybody else wanted any Kraft dinner, I had to throw in an extra box. Because I love my KD.
That's when it was like 29 cents a box.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you used to get like 4 for $1 or something ridiculous. That was the big sale.
And now it's now like, it went from 250 grams to 225, and now it's 200 grams for a box. I know.
Yeah, shrinkflation, that's called.
And then Mom made, I think we talked about it too, like cream chicken on toast, the cordon bleu, the chicken in the can, and we had that a lot.
She'd make like a white sauce with flour and thicken it up, put in the chicken, put butter in it, butter the toast. We had lots of butter.
We did.
It made it really nice. Just, and it filled us up, and it was hot.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup.
Yep. And then coming home at lunchtime and having meat spread, the little cordon bleu cans. Right?
They don't make that anymore. Right?
Oh, don't they?
No.
Because we had that a lot with the
like pate.
And she would open up a can of fruit salad and would have that with it.
Yeah, or pears or something. And that went really nicely together.
Yeah.
I can still taste it. She was, she might have talked to Grandma all morning, but she was ready for us when we came.
Maybe not in the morning when we were heading out to school, but she was there at lunchtime and dinner time.
Well, that was kind of after Dad died too. She was up way in the wee smalls trying to figure out life, and
that's true.
It was hard to wake up in the morning, but we were old enough that we could take care of ourselves.
That we could do it. Or at least you were old enough to look after us.
Yeah, that's what it was. I made sure everybody got their Lucky Charms or whatever. Yeah. And
Graham's house was a little more maybe upscale than our house, but she didn't have all of us kids running around all the time. A lot of the time, but
yeah, that's true. we spent a lot of time in her basement.
Yeah, the haunted basement.
Yeah, that was an interesting place. And the washer and dryer was there, and Grampy's little room was there that was always locked, so we couldn't go in. And it was his space. When they first got the house, I remember it was just a blank space. It was a cement floor. I remember roller skating down in the basement.
At Graham? Really?
At Graham's, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, putting on, with the little key on your shoes, and I'd be roller skating around the basement.
It was a big basement.
It was a big.
I mean, if there were no walls or anything in there, that would have been a really big room.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
then Grampy had the furnace room, which was his tool room, and where he would go down and do a lot of work, and that was scary in there too because of the furnace.
Yeah, the furnace made a lot of noise. He had all kinds of stuff. I remember we used to make rock people, and Grampy loved that. And he would we'd figure out what rocks should go on top of each other. We'd make people, and he would man the glue because it was epoxy and I shouldn't touch it because I could glue myself. So he would work all that, and then he brought the tester paints that you do for model paints.
Oh yeah.
He came home with a whole selection of them, so that's what we used to paint the things. I mean, he put so much thought into this. He was right into it too. We made all kinds of rock people and gave them away.
And they displayed them too, right? They were all in their kitchen. What used to be, I guess, was like an ironing board cupboard.
Yeah,
Grampy turned into shelves.
Yeah,
and they were all up there, and
And he had so many bits and pieces of things. It was like Playland, because he'd pull out the box and it would be like little springs and little doodads. And so we had, springs for people's hair, and he just loved it. That was very precious when I think back. He enjoyed that just as much as I did.
Yeah.
We made a little piano, and we had a little guy playing the piano with pipe cleaners in his hands.
Yeah, I love the pictures we have of Grampy. He doesn't smile a lot in them.
No.
But man, he loved us, and he spoiled all of us rotten, although me more. But
I'll grant you that. You were his girl. You were his girl.
I don't know why. All I remember, his mom said when I was young, 2 or 3, that my dad used to call me Marilyn Monroe because I'd walk around in my little red one-piece bathing suit, and I had long blonde curls. And but the moment you or her brother splashed me, I would freak out.
Oh, you would freak out. The sprinkler on their front lawn when it was really hot. When we lived there, I guess. Well, maybe we visited. Yeah.
We would go then.
Yeah. We would run through the sprinkler to cool off and go back and forth. And if it a little bit touched you, you would scream.
Except the difference now is you won't find me in a little red bathing suit because I don't believe in bathing suits. So.
Well, there you go.
I mean, not that I run around naked either.
Well, I was going to say. I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah. No, I'm not a swimming fan.
Me either. I think it's genetic.
Perhaps so.
Even my friends now at our age, they're in the lake, they're swimming, they got swimsuits, and I'm like,
I think it's more because, and here comes the vain part of Wendy again, it's my hair. Because I have stupid curly hair. I have to work hard to get it to look like it does. And I remember having to take pool at Malvern, having pool class. And that's when you stand in the girls' locker room on the benches because the hair dryers were in the ceiling. And it was just like these funnels coming out of the ceiling. And my hair, like, I can remember going to music class once after, and the teacher going to me, just had pool, did you? And it's just like, as I sink into my chair, because I know what my hair looks like. And then you have these other girls that would come out and, they just brush their hair and it falls into place. It's like, I tended to have a lot of cramps for a cool period. Sorry, I can't go swimming today.
I got all the way through high school without learning how to swim. I'm like the Trouble with Angels, right? That was the original. As the original Haley Mills.
Oh man!
I got diphtheria this weekend. I can't. Typhoid fever. Can't do it.
But I can't believe the safety hazards and standing on those wooden benches, dripping wet, trying to dry your hair.
Looking at the time.
We do talk a lot.
We do.
When we always start these, it's like, so what are you going to talk about tonight?
I don't know. We'll see what the wind blows.
Yeah, so this was fun. We never, as you said, we never know where it's going to take us, where the wind blows. But coming up in the next few weeks, that will be exciting because we can officially start talking about Christmas.
Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Yes, you do.
Especially growing up. We had some really good Christmases. So.
That's true. Well, and it will be a chance for our Beach Brigade to share their memories and post some pictures and participate. And I hope we'll get a special guest soon.
Yes, we have to definitely work on that. And any pictures that you have of you growing up, of your house or whatever you want to throw
Your favorite chair.
The page. Yeah. I'm going to try to find that picture of our bedspreads.
Then I'll remember them. That would be good because I have a vague memory. That's going back a while.
Or just what was your favorite room in your house? Mm-hmm. Ours is probably the middle room, or the den, because that's where the TV was.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for listening to whatever this was.
As always.
As always.
And remember when? Tune in next week.
You're going to
this week.
That?
What week? Oh, you want me to sing?
Mm-hmm.
New tune?
Sure.
Oh.
Surprise me.
The pressure's on. Just Beachy. Just Beachy. It's Deb and Wendy's Just Beachy.
Woohoo!
We hope you had fun. Come back and listen again and give us some ideas if you like. Beachy.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.